When hate knocks, it doesn't come softly. It slams the door, it rattles the walls, it demands your attention. And in that moment, you've got a choice. You can swing the door wide open and let it drag you down into the fight, or you can stand firm, breathe deep, and answer it with peace. Not silence, not weakness, but peace that's stronger than the noise. Hate feeds on reaction. It wants your anger, your bitterness, your revenge. It starves when you refuse to play its game. Peace is not passive, it's power under control. It's looking hate in the face and saying, you don't get to own me. You don't get to pull me out of character. You don't get to write my story. Hate can knock as loud as it wants, but when you answer with peace, you're not just protecting yourself. You're proving that the fire in you burns brighter than any darkness trying to break in. Peace is strength, not weakness. Too many people get this confused. They think if you don't clap back, if you don't match the energy, if you don't return the fire, you're soft. They think restraint is surrender, but here's the truth. It takes nothing to explode. Anybody can lose their temper. Anybody can lash out. Anybody can spit venom when they feel disrespected. That's easy, that's automatic. That's human impulse at its lowest. But it takes real power to stay calm when the room is screaming. It takes discipline to hold steady when someone tries to push every button you have. It takes strength. Most people will never master to look hate in the face and respond with peace. You know why peace is strength? Because it's proof you're in charge of yourself. Nobody can make you explode. Nobody can hijack your emotions unless you hand them the keys. When you choose peace, you're saying, I decide what kind of person I'm going to be. Not you, not your words, not your disrespect. That's control, that's power, that's dominance without ever raising your voice. Think about it. If someone hurls hate your way and you fire back with the same poison, who's really in control? Not you. You just became a mirror. You let their anger decide your response. You let their hate design your character in that moment. But if you hold your ground, if you breathe, if you answer with peace, you show that you're not a puppet to anyone's strings. You're your own master. You are untouchable. People confuse peace with silence. They think if you don't fight back, you're just letting it slide. Wrong. Peace is not silence, it's strategy. Peace doesn't mean you agree. It doesn't mean you're weak. It means you're choosing to fight differently. Instead of swinging wildly, you're using precision. Instead of giving them the war they want, you're keeping the high ground they can't climb to. That is not weakness. That's the kind of power that leaves people stunned because they can't figure out how you stayed so composed when they tried to shake you. Let me tell you this, weak people can't stay peaceful. Weak people explode. Weak people throw insult. Weak people lose themselves because they don't have the discipline to stay in control. But strong people know peace is a weapon. Peace is leverage. Peace is the ultimate checkmate. Because while everyone else is wasting their energy fighting fire with fire, you're conserving yours. You're building, you're growing, and you're leaving them burning in their own flames. Think of peace like armor. Hate can strike, anger can swing, insults can fly. But if you've got peace, none of it penetrates. You walk away without a scratch. That's not because the attack wasn't real, but because your armor was stronger. That's strength. And here's the kicker, the people who expect you to explode, to lash out, to match their hate, they're left powerless when you don't. They expect war, and you hand them calm. That flips the entire script. That steals their control. Peace is strength, because it builds influence. Nobody admires the person who loses their temper over everything. Nobody looks up to the one who always has to prove themselves with louder words or harsher comeback. But the one who stays calm, the one who doesn't get rattled, the one who can face hate and still walk with composure, that's the one people follow. That's the one people remember. Because peace shines in a way anger never can. Look at history. Look at the strongest leaders, the ones who changed the world. They didn't waste their power by spitting hate back at hate. They stood tall, steady, unshaken, peaceful in the storm. That's why people listened. That's why people followed. That's why they're remembered. Strength is not proven by who yells the loudest. It's proven by who stands the firmest. When hate comes, the easy thing to do is to fight back with the same fire. But easy isn't strong. Easy doesn't build respect. Easy doesn't set you apart. Peace does. Peace is the high road everyone talks about but few actually take, because it demands more strength than most people are willing to use. It demands patience. It demands discipline. It demands self-control. And that's why it's powerful, because it's real. So next time someone tries to drag you into their storm, remember this. Peace is not you being soft. Peace is not you backing down. Peace is you standing taller than the chaos. Peace is you saying I won't lower myself to match you. Peace is you choosing strength over impulse. And that choice, that's what makes you unshakable. That's what makes you unstoppable. Now here's the challenge. When hate knocks at your door again, and it will, you don't have to open it with rage. Open it with peace. Watch how small hate looks when it realizes it can't move you. Watch how powerless it becomes when you refuse to fuel it. That's real strength. That's peace in action. And that is how you win without ever throwing a punch. Hate wants a reaction. That's its only mission. It's like bait on a hook. It dangles in front of you waiting for you to bite. And the second you do, the second you lash out, the second you snap back, you're caught. That's exactly what it wanted. Hate is powerless until you fuel it with your energy. It thrives when you give it your time, your words, your anger. Without your reaction, hate has nothing. Think about the last time someone came at you with venom. Maybe it was an insult. Maybe it was gossip. Maybe it was a look designed to cut you down. What happened inside you? Your heart raced. Your jaw tightened. You felt the fire building. And in that split second, hate thought it had you. It thought you'd explode. But here's the truth. The moment you give that reaction, you hand over your power. You let their hate dictate your behavior. You let them pull you into their storm. That's why the strongest move you can make is no reaction at all, or a controlled one. Hate can't survive silence. It can't grow in calm. It suffocates when you refuse to give it oxygen. You see, hate is like a flame. It only burns if you keep feeding it. The second you take away the fuel, it fizzles out, and the person who brought it, they're left standing in their own smoke, choking on the fire they started, because you didn't join in. Hate wants chaos. It wants a scene. It wants to pull you out of your character so it can point and say, see, you're no different. That's the trap. If you explode, you just confirmed everything they wanted people to believe about you. But when you stay calm, when you don't give them the show, you strip them of their weapon. Suddenly they've got nothing to hold against you. You just proved they don't control you. And here's the part most people miss. Your reaction doesn't just affect you. It affects everyone watching. People may not remember the exact words thrown at you, but they will remember how you responded. If you answered hate with hate, that's all they'll see. But if you stood your ground, calm, steady, unbothered, they'll never forget it. That kind of composure speaks louder than any insult ever could. Now don't mistake this for being passive. Choosing not to react isn't weakness, it's strategy. It's saying I won't play your game because I already won by not stepping onto the board. Hate expects you to fight dirty. Hate expects you to lose control. But when you don't, you throw it off balance. You confuse it, you disarm it. That's why not reacting is one of the strongest moves you can make. Picture someone screaming in your face, trying to provoke you. If you yell back, they're in control. But if you stand there calm, measured, steady, it unsettles them. They don't know what to do. They're expecting fire and instead they get ice. That's power. That's dominance. That's control. This is why so many people get stuck in cycles of conflict. They keep giving hate exactly what it wants. They keep reacting. They keep feeding. And every time they do, they lose a little bit of themselves. They lose time. They lose energy. They lose peace. But the second you stop reacting, the second you refuse to give hate the satisfaction, you take everything back. You regain control of your mind, your emotions, your direction. The truth is, most people who bring hate are already hurting. They're already empty. They lash out because it's all they know. If you respond with the same hate, you become just like them. But if you rise above it, you set yourself apart. You prove you're operating on a different level. And sometimes that alone is enough to silence the noise. So the next time hate comes knocking, ask yourself, does it deserve my reaction? Does it deserve my peace? Does it deserve my time? 9 times out of 10, the answer is no. Because hate only wins if you play along, and you don't have to. You can starve it by refusing to feed it. You can suffocate it by staying calm. You can kill it by not reacting. Hate will always want something from you. It wants you to break. Don't give it the satisfaction. Keep your strength. Keep your composure. Because when you do, hate doesn't win. You do. The way you respond reflects who you are. That's the truth most people forget in the heat of the moment. It's not just about what was said to you or what was done to you. It's about what you choose to do next. Your response is a mirror and the world will look into it to see your character. Hate doesn't just test your patience, it tests your identity. It wants to know if you'll stoop low, if you'll let anger rewrite your story, if you'll let someone else pull you out of alignment with who you really are. When someone throws hate your way, they're not just attacking you, they're baiting you. They're waiting to see if you'll snap, if you'll get loud, if you'll step outside of yourself just to prove a point. But the moment you do, the moment you react in rage,
you've handed them your reputation on a silver platter. Suddenly it's not about what they did, it's about how you respond. That's what people remember. That's what sticks. And in that moment you don't just lose control, you lose yourself. Protecting your character is bigger than winning an argument. It's bigger than proving you're right. It's about guarding the only thing you take with you everywhere: your name, your integrity, your identity. You can't let every insult rewrite your character. You can't let every act of disrespect stain the person you've worked to become. Because here's the reality: people will come and go, hate will rise and fall, but your character stays with you for life. Don't throw it away over temporary noise. Think about it. If every time hate shows up you match it, you become it. You're no longer different, you're just another echo of the same poison. But when you choose peace, when you keep your composure, you show the world you're cut from something stronger. You're not just reacting, you're responding with intention. That's what separates leaders from followers, strong from weak, light from dark. The way you carry yourself under pressure tells the truth about who you are when no one's watching. People are always watching your response. Your kids are watching, your friends are watching, your enemies are watching, strangers are watching. And every time you respond, you're teaching them who you are. If you lash out, they'll know you're easily broken. If you stay steady, they'll know you're not someone who can be shaken. Your response tells the world whether you're ruled by emotion or anchored by character. Here's the kicker: you don't just protect your character for others, you do it for yourself. Every time you answer hate with hate, you chip away at your own peace. You walk away feeling guilty, drained, angry that you let them get to you. But when you respond with control, you walk away proud, you walk away stronger, you walk away knowing you didn't let anyone drag you out of your lane. That kind of self-respect builds confidence you can't fake. It's easy to let hate make you forget who you are. It's easy to let anger rewrite your script in the moment. But easy doesn't last. Easy doesn't build legacy. Protecting your character does. It's like a shield. You hold it up not because you're afraid, but because you know what you're guarding is valuable. Your name, your integrity, your story, that's worth defending. And sometimes the strongest defense isn't swinging back, it's refusing to let anyone pull you out of character. Let them talk, let them hate, let them throw stones. None of that changes who you are unless you let it. You control whether their actions define you, and if you choose to stay grounded, if you choose to answer with peace, you keep your character intact while theirs crumbles in front of everyone. That's the power of restraint. That's the strength of self-control. The truth is, you can't stop hate from coming. You can't control what people say, but you can control what you do next. And that response, that single moment, is what builds or breaks your character. Protect it like your life depends on it, because in many ways it does. When hate tries to knock you off balance, stand taller. When anger tempts you to swing, keep your hands steady. When insults fly, let them fall. Because at the end of the day, the world won't judge you by what was said about you. They'll judge you by what you did in response. Don't let hate write your story. Protect your character, protect your name, protect your peace, because once you lose those, you've given hate exactly what it wants. Nothing breaks hate faster than peace. Hate shows up ready for war. It wants a fight. It wants screaming insults, slammed doors, broken bridges. It walks into the room swinging fists, expecting you to swing back. But when you stand calm, when you answer steady, when you refuse to give it the fight it's begging for, you disarm it completely. Hate doesn't know what to do with peace. It's like a boxer stepping into the ring and realizing the opponent won't throw a punch. All that energy, all that rage, all that noise, it collapses under its own weight. Peace doesn't just stop the cycle, it exposes hate's weakness. Hate looks powerful when people feed it. It looks unstoppable when it keeps getting reaction. But when you starve it, when you take away the fuel, it shrinks. It becomes small, empty, almost pathetic. Because hate without a response is nothing more than noise echoing into silence. Picture someone shouting in your face, trying to provoke you. They're fueled up, ready for battle. The moment you yell back, the fight's alive. You've given them exactly what they wanted. But if you don't, if you stay calm, if you keep your voice even, if you answer with peace instead of fire, they crumble. Their words bounce back on them. They start looking foolish, desperate, powerless. Your peace holds up a mirror to their hate, and it reveals them, not you. And here's the secret: peace doesn't humiliate you, it humiliates hate. Because hate wants to be in control, it wants to be the center of attention, it wants to dictate your move. When you refuse, you prove that it never had power over you in the first place. That's why peace is not passive, it's active resistance. It's saying, I see what you're trying to do, but you won't win here. The most dangerous person in the room isn't the loudest one. It isn't the one throwing insults like daggers. It's the one who can't be rattled, the one who won't rise to the bait, the one who looks hate in the eye and doesn't flinch. That's power, that's intimidation, that's disarming without lifting a finger. And don't mistake this for letting people walk all over you. Peace doesn't mean you tolerate disrespect. Peace means you refuse to let disrespect decide your reaction. It means you stand so firmly in your strength that hate can scream all day long, and it won't move. That's how you take control, not by swinging back, but by standing unshaken. Every time you answer hate with peace, you shift the balance. You stop the cycle from spinning, you rob hate of its fuel, and here's the beautiful part, you also inspire others. People watching see your composure, your restraint, your power under control. It teaches them something, it shows them another way, because most people have only ever seen hate answered with hate. But when they see peace disarm it, they realize there's another level. You become the example, and think about what that does for you. When you choose peace, you walk away stronger, not weaker. You don't carry the guilt of words you shouldn't have said. You don't carry the regret of actions you can't take back. You walk away light, free, untouchable. Hate wanted to chain you up in conflict, but peace cut the ropes before they ever wrapped around you. Hate thrives in chaos, but it dies in calm. It lives on reaction, but it suffocates in silence. It feeds on anger, but it starves when you answer steady. That's why peace is so powerful. It doesn't just protect you, it kills hate at the root. It ends the cycle without ever starting a war. So the next time hate comes at you swinging, don't match it. Don't lower yourself to its level. Stand calm, answer steady, respond with peace. Watch how quickly the noise dies down when it realizes it can't control you. Watch how small hate looks when it has no power over your reaction. That's the secret weapon. That's the ultimate move. Peace doesn't just defend you, it disarms the enemy. Peace creates influence. That's the part most people underestimate. They think peace is just for keeping the noise down, for keeping their own heart calm, for protecting themselves, and yes, it does all of that. But peace does more. It shifts the atmosphere around you. It leaves a mark. It changes the way people see you, and the way people carry themselves in your presence. That's influence. And it's not built in the moments when everything is calm, it's built in the moments when chaos is testing you. People are always watching. You may not realize it, but they are. Workers, friends, family, even strangers. They notice how you handle pressure. They see how you respond to disrespect. They're paying attention when someone brings hate your way. And in those moments, you're teaching them something. You're showing them what you're made of. If you blow up, if you lose control, if you let hate pull you down, you teach them that you're no different than the noise. But if you stay steady, if you answer with peace, you teach them what real strength looks like. That's how you influence without even trying. Peace has a gravity to it. People are drawn to someone who doesn't get rattled. They're drawn to the calm in the storm. They respect the one who doesn't need to shout to prove a point. That's why peace is so powerful. It builds respect silently. It doesn't need an announcement. It doesn't need applause. It works in the background, shaping the way people view you. Because anyone can rage, anyone can shout, but not everyone can stay calm when chaos is begging for attention. That difference makes you stand out, and influence isn't just about people admiring you. It's about setting the tone. When you walk into a room with peace, you shift the atmosphere, you calm the energy, you stop the spiral before it starts. Hate can't spread as easily in the presence of someone anchored in peace. Your composure gives other people permission to calm down too. Your control becomes contagious. That's the ripple effect of peace. It doesn't stop with you, it spreads to everyone around you. Think about the people you look up to, the ones who had real impact. It's not the ones who always lost their temper. It's not the ones who screamed the loudest. It's the ones who stayed grounded, steady, even when the world was on fire. Their peace influenced nations, movements, generations, and yours doesn't have to be any different. You may not influence the whole world, but you influence the world around you. Your family, your team, your friend, even the stranger watching you from across the room. Peace creates influence because it shows mastery. Mastery over yourself, mastery over your emotions, mastery over situations that want to own you. And people respect mastery. They want to follow someone who can stay calm when everyone else is losing it. They trust someone who doesn't let emotions run wild. Influence is built on trust, and trust is built on consistent. If you're consistently peaceful, consistently calm, consistently anchored, people will look to you when chaos hits. That's how leaders are born. But here's the raw truth. If you don't choose peace, if you let hate dictate your reactions, you don't just lose influence, you lose credibility. People can't trust someone who explodes at every spark. They can't lean on someone who changes with every insult. But when you hold your ground, when you keep steady, you become the rock others lean on. That's influence, and it doesn't require a platform, it requires discipline. This is why peace is more than just personal. It's generational. It teaches your kids how to handle conflict. It teaches your peers how to stay calm. It teaches strangers that hate doesn't have to win. You never know who's learning from your example. You never know whose life you're shaping, simply by refusing to let hate pull you out of character. That's the hidden power of peace. It builds legacy without you even knowing it. And here's the best part. Peace outlives the moment. The argument fades. The insults are forgotten. The storm passes. But people will always remember how you carried yourself. They'll remember your calm. They'll remember your composure. They'll remember the strength it took to stay steady when others would have crumbled. That influence stays long after the noise is gone. So don't ever underestimate what your peace can do. It's not just protecting you, it's shaping everything around you. It's setting the tone for your home, your workplace, your friendships. It's inspiring people who may never even tell you they were watching. That's the silent force of peace. That's why hate can't touch it. That's why it matters more than anger ever could. When you choose peace, you don't just win the moment. You create influence that lasts. And that's a kind of power hate will never understand. When hate comes, it wants you weak. It wants you reckless. It wants you to hand over your peace, like it owns you. But you've seen the truth now. Peace isn't weakness. It's strength under control. Hate wants a reaction, but you don't owe it one. You don't feed it. You don't fuel it. You starve it until it dies in its own silence. You protect your character, because your name, your integrity, your story is worth more than any petty fight. And when you hold your ground, your peace doesn't just defend you, it disarms the enemy. It breaks the cycle before it begins. And the beauty of it all, your peace doesn't stop with you. It spreads, it builds respect, it creates influence. It teaches everyone watching that there's a different way, a higher way, a stronger way. So the next time hate knocks, don't open the door with rage. Don't give it the satisfaction of stealing your calm. Open it with peace. Stand tall, breathe deep, stay anchored. Because when you do, hate loses its power. You keep your strength, and your influence grows louder than any insult ever could. That's how you win. That's how you rise. That's how you turn every moment of hate into a stage for peace that cannot be shaken.